All three masters present here. Please come up the dais.
Fire them rapidly and bombard them like anything. This is, this is one of the rarest opportunity that three TRIZ masters are sitting over here. I don't know how many of you are aware of TRIZ, how many of you are educated at TRIZ, and how many of you are certified with TRIZ. But then one thing I always feel, how many TRIZ masters are there worldwide? Any guesses? All over world, how many TRIZ masters would be there? Though I do not have that number, but it is close to 90.
Oh, wow, 106.
Oh, must be updated, I don't know.
Them passed away.
Some of them passed away.
Yeah, that's what. Someone have become TRIZ masters and someone have lost their lives, something like that. But close to 90. That's a fact. TRIZ do not have solution for that as of now. Maybe it will find it. So basically, we are really fortunate, and I'll again take an opportunity to thank all these three TRIZ masters to spare their time rather, and be over here. So this is a great opportunity, and let's make maximum use of this opportunity. So instead of I saying anything more onto that, I hand over the forum to you all, and please ask whatever the question may be. Let it be a very technical question. Let it be what is very basic thing, management, and you all know how TRIZ can be used into even our day-to-day life also. So from our side, forum is open. Please ask question. Yeah.
Thank you for very informative day. So since I've been attending since yesterday and everything is revolving around MPV, it seems. But my question is to all three of you that how do you really validate that those MPVs that you have selected? Is this something that we assume that business function has done their homework and giving to us, or it is something that we really can validate that these MPVs are real and we have selected the right MPVs?
You know what? First of all, there are different types of MPVs. And there are two types of classification. There are known MPVs and unknown MPVs. And also there are satisfied MPVs and unsatisfied. And depending on combination of these two characteristics, we have different strategies what to do. For example, let's take known and unsatisfied MPVs. Should we try to satisfy them? Because, you know, we know them, and we know for sure that they are unsatisfied. Should we do it? Yes, we should. But the problem is that they are known for you, but it means it is known for your competitors. And your people are very good engineers, but your competitors also are very good engineers. That is why in this domain is extremely competing. Very difficult to overrun your competitors in this domain, okay? But they are known. But the problem is that there are unknown, unsatisfied MPVs. And if you somehow identify this MPV and silently in your lab develop new types of products which satisfy this MPV, at least a little bit, and offer this MPV, this product to the market, you will be winner. Not forever, temporarily, but temporarily you will be winner. Okay, but the question is how to identify this hidden MPV. We have special technology. For example, you know, we use function analysis, or for example, we can analyze supersystem components and their functions, and we can try to steal this function from supersystem and assign to our product. And this product will perform functions of all other components. It is one kind of direction. And second direction, what language our marketing people speak? They speak a language of our customers, right? And our customers use their own language like very general. right? For example, just not to be theoretical, we performed one project about a water socket, you know, in the shower, water socket. And marketing people just interviewed customers and identified MPV which should be improved. You know what MPV? A comfort. A customer told marketing people that this water socket is not comfortable enough, not convenient enough. Okay? Okay, let's call engineers. Do we have mechanical engineers here? Yeah? Go ahead. Please improve convenience of the water socket. Can you do it? You have no idea. What do you mean convenience, right? That is why we need to reduce this strategic MPV to the physical parameter. And actually, there is methodology. For example, you build cause and effect chain. And you will see that actually people don't understand what they're talking about. But in fact, you know, you can build a graph, angle, you know, turning angle. I mean, temperature of the water over angle, right? And theoretically, it should be linear, right? You turn a little bit and you increase temperature gradually, right? But in fact, this curve is not linear. It was like that. Would you imagine? You turn a lot and you increase temperature a little bit. It's kind of too cold. You decided to make it warmer. You turn it a little bit and suddenly it's very hot, right? And now we understand, the parameter to be improved, not the convenience. The parameter to be improved is linearity. Now, if we ask our fellow engineer, can you do it? Of course you can, right? Then is it answer to your question?
Somewhat, but I was pointing towards the starting point where
what he's trying to ask is, how do I let's assume we have discovered this parameter, which is there. How do we know that it is going to be the
Yeah, I will try, guys. Yeah, guys. Guys, our methodology helps us not to identify MPVs. Methodology helps to identify candidates to MPVs. Some parameters we believe could be MPV. After that, when you identify this candidate, you go to marketing people. And these marketing people will use their magic to interview customers and decide, is it a real MPV or people will not buy it? Can you see? We identify candidates, and after that we ask fellow marketing people.
Yeah, let me add something just a little bit on the same topic, because what Alex called unknown MPVs, I prefer a little bit different term, hidden MPV.
Hidden MPV.
Something which, doesn't exist. And the best quotation I have ever heard on that is from Steve Jobs. He said, your customer never knows what he needs until you show it to the customer.
All right.
And I can give you one example how we identify this hidden or latent MPV. That was a project of Gentry Partners. At the time I was with Gentry. And the system was very simple, bar soap. How to improve this soap, how to make it more efficient. We built a function model at the high level. So the function of the soap is to remove dirt, right? So easy. And if you think about that, it does its job very nice when you clean this surface of your hand, this surface. But you also have dirt accumulated under your nails. And this MPV doesn't exist. The soap doesn't remove dirt under the nail. Okay, so now we have a question. How can we make a soap which removes dirt under the nail? And then there are a few concepts were developed on this topic. But how we identify, to be precise with my answer, I usually build a function model at the high level and see what functions are unsatisfied or do not exist.
Because it's already takes some time, I'll be more generic on what my colleagues have said already, but I would say that usually when you think about a validity of an extracted set of MPVs. First of all, there must be match between a system, what system produces, and super system demands, right? And we always have to track the changes in a super system. Like you look back 20 years ago, if I would be buying a car in the United States, I would be selecting the biggest engine, the longest one. But today, I would be put more attention to safety, to fuel economy, and so forth. So the only way to provide this validity, but of course an generic term, is continuously monitor and mismatch the super system changes of demands. No? You're welcome.
Okay,
Yeah, so
I have one question.
I've had enough colleagues of mine asking me in terms of, is there something like TRIZ applied to software methodology?
Yes. Okay. Well, I can tell you because, well, I spent a lot of time coding myself. And artificial intelligence languages started with assembly language and finishing with Lisp and Prolog language. Now I'm going to shock you. There is no innovation in software. That's why my answer is very simple. No, you don't need TRIZ for software. Well, very simple, because what is software? Software is a code. Once you know what to code, once you've done recommendations, specifications, what are you going to innovate there? Just sit down and write the code, then test it, bring it to the market. Yeah, that's it. What is innovation here? But innovation definitely comes on the specs, requirements. The idea of a new product can be innovation. Idea of a new architecture can be innovation. Idea of a new, let's say, platform, like a cloud service, etc., can be innovation. That's why it is difficult to apply TRIZ to software itself, because in software there is nothing to innovate.
You know, I have a slightly different answer. No. You know, I would say TRIZ is good to apply it not directly to the software per se, but something very close to the software. For example, we can apply it for interface. For example, many years ago, I was involved in the project for Honda. In that time, they decided to install navigator to cars, right? And navigator is a computer. But to use it, first of all, you need to inform computer about destination point. It's about interface, right? And how can you inform computer? Well, you can just type using keyboard. Guys, we do not consider some voice recognition system. They told us, guys, no. Just type using keyboard. Or you can use joystick or mouse and use pop-up menus. Like it offers you the menu. You select some point. It will be sub-menu. After that, sub-menu. And they calculated they need up to 8 clicks to find exact destination point. But the goal was, it was necessary to interact with computer in the process of driving. Can you type when you drive? No, right? Okay. Can you use these clicks? You drive and in the same time trying to interact with computer, right? And the goal was to reduce number of clicks to 3. They decided if you need just 3 clicks, it could be saved enough. But we decided that no way. You know, I cannot drive and in the same time interacting with computer, and we performed a thorough analysis and we developed some solutions how to do it. Is it software problem? Not exactly. It is not software per se, but it is very clear, I mean, close to the software. It's about interface. Okay? This is enough.
So basically, just to say, what you are saying, it's about innovating user experience rather than software.
Yeah. I just, want to add my 5 cents on this topic. Intel, 5 years ago, they used TRIZ for manufacturing. widely in the world. Alex was teaching in the United States, and there is a branch of Intel in St. Petersburg, Russia. And this branch, they have only software engineers. And of course, they heard about TRIZ success in manufacturing. And they asked us to teach basic course in TRIZ there. And when we came there, we started, our typical course, function analysis, flow analysis. They said, wait a second, no, this methodology doesn't work for us. We have our own definition of function. Why do we need to change our mind? No. But when we arrived to inventive principles, engineering contradictions, physical contradictions, they were so happy. They said, this part definitely works for us. Why? I think because those principles, 40 inventive principles, they are so generic that theoretically they can be applied to any science, including IT industry. Yeah,
that's correct.
But IT industry is wider than just software.
So sorry.
Please.
So would it be right to say that it is not so much about the software, but it is about the combination of these techniques that you can apply to solve a problem that gives you the ingenuity or the IP?
Yeah. Absolutely. And actually, there are several books on the market about TRIZ for software, right? So you can check by
I don't believe to them.
Okay, but still, if you're curious, there is also one Indian guy who wrote 2 books, and one book, like 400 pages, about how to use TRIZ to fight viruses. Does anybody here? Does anybody know this book? Unish, I forgot the name of that person. I never met with him personally, but I got several messages from him. So if you're interested, please check.
Yeah, I have one question. It's about identifying and defining main parameter value. For example, one of the car company, they improved upon the lead of the boots, means of the car. And when they tried to smoothen the motion and the lock was fitting without the usual sound of click. So customer objected, customer didn't like it. They always thought that lock is not there. So this was the perception, and for perception they had to change many locks and then revert back to original design, which gave the sound click. So how this can be the perception based or feeling based MPV should be got?
Well, I would say, what we are talking about during the first discussion of MPVs, we were talking about voice of the product, right? I was talking about function analysis, how our product works. But the second source of MPVs is voice of the customer. And your example perfectly fits in this category. So we should also listen voice of the customer.
By the way, I recollected the name of that person who wrote about TRIZ and software, Umakant Mishra. Umakant Mishra, sorry. I'm sorry if I'm saying it not correctly, but still.
Yeah, I'm a professor from an engineering college in Bangalore. So, the whole day we've been hearing a lot of industry-related, talks. I would like to know where the academia would fit in, because if we, instill this kind of training for students, how do they profit? There's a disconnect over there. We really don't know.
Already more than 20 years ago, because one of my affiliations, you could see today on the slide, was University of Twente. This is a university in the city of Enschede in the Netherlands. And in 1996, we started some courses, TRIZ, for undergraduate students. And then in 2003, we started 3 courses for graduate students. And basically, what I'm doing today, I run 2 courses per year. One is for graduate students. It's an introductory course, 16 hours. And another course, which is mostly interesting probably for you, would be that 80-hour course on the level 2 of TRIZ certification. It is given to master students, And master students come from different specialities. The industrial design and management students, there are mechanical engineers, there are civil engineers. So in total, we have a group about 50 people at most. I cannot do more. And then it is a course conducted every year. It's a summer course because we now changing, because many professors prefer to have courses in a row, not by divided like you have semester course, like 2 hours this week, 2 hours next week. Now they are compacted in modules. So this is a unique course also because it's just 2 weeks of full immersion. So students come to the room at 9 o'clock or 8:30 and then sit there till 9 o'clock in the evening every day. And they learn TRIZ and they have 8 assignments. Each assignment is application of a tool. So they're broken into groups of 3, 4 persons and they work on real innovations. So this course is 80 hours. And once it's completed and students are graded at each assignment, and then they can use additional 56 hours they can select several types, one of several types of activity. It can be either doing some small research on some TRIZ issue. It can be also working with any industrial company. 56 hours is enough to produce a new patent, some new idea, solve some problem, and produce some patent. And there are third activity, which is also connecting with undergraduate students and so forth. So basically, you can check this article. It's written by us maybe in 2011, 12. It's called, can you put down a little bit? Yeah, it's called Full Immersion TRIZ in Education. It's written twice by me. I don't know why. Yeah. It's a B system, you remember? So Wessel Wies, Tom Wanneker, Wessel Wies and Thomas Wanneker, and Tom Wanneker, they are from university, and I'm an invited teacher. And basically, this course has been elected by the students as the most interesting and valuable course of the whole master program. That's what I'm very proud of. So, but this article is probably so you can type my name and TRIZ and immersion. This is free publication on the university website, so you can see all the details about this course mentioned in this paper. And the last say, I would say that TRIZ has been actually taught in lots of universities around the world, but usually they do not have a special course on TRIZ. Usually TRIZ is taught within other courses like innovation management, like technological innovation, and so forth. So maybe it's like 20, 30 hours. A big course on TRIZ and related stuff is given at University Politecnico Milano, in Milan University in Italy. Yes, that's also, I think, maybe they have it even bigger, but it also includes some other stuff like working with intellectual property and so forth. So, yes, there are few big courses like mine, like Polytechnic Milano, well, and others, there are zillions of other small courses, which mostly product introduction. Unfortunately, not a really good full training, but introduction only. Yeah, that's the situation today.
I will add again 2 words on that. So as a member of TRIZ Presidium, I can share some information with you. The role of TRIZ is to help with TRIZ proliferation around the world. And what we observe right now, TRIZ is well adopted by industrial companies. What is the next model of growth for TRIZ? And we are discussing that. And with help of professors from India, from other countries, I think we should develop something in this direction.
I do have one more question. Early in the day, we were talking about forecasting and prediction. I might miss
just
you
a sec.
over there.
If you permit me, I would like to add something to your previous question. Your question is very pertinent to Indian education scenario.
Yes.
Because we basically do not have any course, I won't say we do not have, but TRIZ is not included anywhere into the syllabus. Now what we are trying, and TRIZ Asia is like thinking of or dreaming of, I don't know how much it will be successful, but definitely we are sure that we have to make it successful. So basically, as Shri sir initiated that we want inventors, we don't want only engineers. So all said and done, we have either affiliated to some university or we are setting our own syllabus. Even NAC or NBA or whatever regulating bodies we have got nowadays are expecting that there has to be some courses on innovation. We must produce some entrepreneur. How would we do it? Within our regular curriculum, it is not possible. So then they have also have some value-added courses. Now what we are trying to do through our student chapter, that we'll have some, there are many student chapter, SAE, then many aero designing, everything is going on. But what is the base for everything? Everything is being invented. So we have this method which is a systematic invention. There, the step-by-step invention is defined. We know how to do it, isn't it? So will not it be better to have it in curriculum? If not, why not to go with a value-added course? If still not, why not to go for professional courses? One more thing I would like to add to your knowledge, because unfortunately most of the educationists are, have left. But then I would like to add to it. I was a part of AICT, there was, probably it would have been done in Bangalore also, that they are planning that there must be internship compulsory to each and every student. How even they are into dilemma, because it is a huge number, how many industries will find, how we'll do it. So on another extent, I would appeal all the industrialists to extend their hands to all those nearby colleges which you have. But at the same time, they have also permitted some professional courses wherein student will learn something beyond their syllabus. And that also will be considered as an internship. So this is a forum wherein we can use and give this incentive, input to the student. And one more thing, what is the most creative age? Might have come in our whole life. If we think at what age we are most creative. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been an answer like 25, 26, because till that time we are graduated and then we are matured with 4 or 5 years of experience, but no. And again, it is a thing like it is coming down. Earlier, one survey said it is 12 years, then it has come to 9 to 10 years. So this is the time where we have to teach all these things. Though right now we have started this student chapter for engineering, but definitely we are going to the schools as well. So if your question is like how important, yes, it is basic thing which we need to teach. And I would like Shri sir to add to it. Shri sir.
And may I add something?
Yes,
You know,
we had some
there was a famous psychologist, Antoine Ribot, and he built so-called Ribot curve, dependence between age and level of creativity. And you're right, the maximal creativity is about 12-year-old. And after that, it goes down. But the worst situation is that this curve can go to negative area. Not to zero, but to negative area. And you know in what age? Age of, graduated students. Our graduated students or young specialists immediately after universities have negative creativity, not zero, but negative. You know why? Because they spent many years learning some engineering methods, right? And now they would like to apply these methods. And we told them, guys, no, let's forget about these methods. You need to be creative. You need to invent something. No way. They just refuse. And guys, it is not good. Of course, majority of problems are standard, and a majority of problems could be solved by engineering methods. But if they meet some non-standard problem, they just refuse to solve it because standard methods do not work here. That is why I believe that TRIZ training for graduated and post-graduating students is extremely important, just to push this curve to at least to positive domain.
So, what you would say that if it's the graduate and the postgraduate students who are getting trained, the output of their work, whatever the research work would be some solution which can be patented, but need not be something that comes out into the market as a product. Is that how it is?
When we teach people, actually the visible result is patents, right? Or just successfully completed projects. But what is goal of what goal we're trying to achieve? When we teach people, we try to modify their mind. We try to provide them tools, and they will use these tools again and again and again, get more and more and more results. That is why, of course, it's very good when your students will prepare some projects on the patentable level and implementable level. But ultimate goal is not to get one patent, but to provide them ability to make more patents.
I would just like to add one more thing into that. First thing is that now I am assured that internationally the things are same. I was thinking it is only the situation in India. Second thing, TRIZ sir yesterday shared a thing like he went to Detroit Museum and he found that there was a one cylinder. Then gradually it has to be added, power has to be increased. There were two cylinders, two separate cylinders, three cylinders, four cylinders, it went up to 8 cylinder. And it took them around 8+ years to realize that they can have one block and bore it for 8 times and get the same engine. So where is it? Like if we expect that a student should think, it is obviously like outcome is shown when you have a patent, but basically when your thinking system itself is improved, results are bound to come. You cannot stop them.
And how many colleges, universities in India do follow TRIZ, or rather have?
In India or abroad?
In India?
See, directly following, I don't think so anyone would be there. We are doing it as an value-added or something like courses over there. We have done it at ASSMS College of Engineering, Cummins College of Engineering, and Meghe group of institutes at Nagpur. But then they realized the importance of this, and they did not ask us to teach to students directly. They selected their faculty. They have many colleges, and what did they do? They said it should not be pushed by the HODs or principals who should come. They said, put up a simple criteria that whosoever is interested should have at least one patent at their name. And only those students were, or rather faculties were there. And after our training, there were around 8 patents filed.
Okay.
And not only that, they improved their existing patents also.
I have one question. We are new to TRIZ. To start with, what we think is we should try to take some project with your help and complete to give us some confidence on the success of TRIZ. But going forward, how to develop a culture within the company so that we identify projects, we identify opportunities for improvement and continue the journey, not just close after 2, 3, 4 success stories. So what is the journey and how to start that?
Now I can speak about Samsung, because as you know, in Samsung, TRIZ is real at that level which you're talking about, like a company culture. And so how it happens, our Value Innovation Program Center, it is like a house of TRIZ at Samsung. And we do both trainings and projects, because only trainings, they're not enough. If you finished your training, you have knowledge, you do not have skills. In order to develop skills, you need to practice what you have learned. And when we start project, we usually first train these people. Some of them already have level 1 or level 2. Some people are new to TRIZ. That is why a special online course was developed. So every engineer who participates in the project is requested to go through this course. So it is easy to access it online at Samsung internet, and that's it. So my point is that in order to make it a culture, you need to teach people, and you need to show people how to use this knowledge.
And I would like just to expand this answer, because our company has developed a special program how to incorporate TRIZ to corporate culture. And it is not just theoretical program. We just already implemented this program many times. For instance, for Intel, and I guess we have people from General Electric here, and to General Electric too. And now General Electric has this TRIZ culture inside, and it is self-propagating system. They don't need us anymore, because the system works by itself. And you know, we learn a lot from our kind of experience and sometimes from even our mistakes. For example, there are two typical mistakes what company do when they try to implement TRIZ. One wrong approach, we call it horizontal approach. The idea is let's train as many people as possible on very low level, just on the basic, even less than basic. But you know what? People, engineers, do not meet inventive problems every day, right? It is pretty rare situation when you meet some non-standard problem. And if you do not apply your knowledge all the time, the level of your knowledge, first of all, you lose skills. After that, you lose knowledge. And after 1 year, your knowledge are almost zero. You just could say, yeah, I know TRIZ is good, but nothing more. There is second approach, also wrong one. We call it vertical approach. Let's assign 15 people and train them on the highest possible level. Guys, other people will not understand what they are talking about. They will approach them and, you know what, here we have physical contradiction and we need to resolve it in relation. The other people will look, what? Also, there will be no organizational structure because, you know, our methodology is quite comprehensive. And to use it, you need to spend a lot of time. Because when you sit building function model or cause and effect chain model, you do not do anything else. You need to have time for it. You need to have, for example, you develop something. You know, you need to be able to test your solution, right? It means you need to have some money or time of the workshop, you know, testing workshop to make some experiments for you. And these few people just can do nothing. And majority of them will leave the company and become independent consultant, and that's it. What is a right approach? We call it pyramid approach. How it works? First of all, we start from the zero level, from the level of awareness. Just, you know, 1 hour or 2 hour just awareness seminar, just to inform people, guys, look, we have great methodology. It can help you, you know, to solve your problems. Okay. After that, it is not a manager who should assign people, you and you will go to training, vice versa. People should ask the manager, you know, may I participate in some training. We call it, this method, self-screening approach. If people ask manager, we will not have wrong people, because wrong people will not ask. Only right people, energetic, you know, people who like to be more creative will ask managers to get trained on the first level. Okay, we train people here, 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 here. After that, some of them would decide, it's good stuff. I should know more. And again, they will approach the managers, may I be trained on the second level? Okay, on advanced level. And we build pyramid. And some of them will go to professional level. And these people will become internal trainers. And from this point, company will not need us. These people will start training from basic level. After that, they will grow at advanced level. And for example, now at General Electric, they have internal TRIZ masters. And they can have their own training without any support. It's self-propelling system. But also, we will explain people about organizational part. Because guys, TRIZ is not only TRIZ. Without organizational support, without rewarding system, it doesn't work. And we know how to do it. And we will teach people how to do it. And we promise that if you start, you will have, sooner or later, after a few years, you will have this self-propagating TRIZ culture. But the first question is, do you have a political will to do it? Because, you know, if you try, okay, we can try to convince, and manager say, okay, let's try. Guys, it doesn't work because immediately some problems, some lack of resources, and this program will be stopped, right? First of all, company should say, yes, we need this culture, period. In this case, it will work, okay? Ну, один есть. Был, ну, okay.
Hello, hi. I just have a question on when you derive parameters, like from whatever we get out of, voice of customer, voice of product. So, is there any case of having contradiction between the parameters derived from the voice of product and the parameters derived from the voice of customer?
Yeah, a lot. Well, of course, guys, when you identify these parameters, in many cases, you can meet the contradiction, because from one point of view, we should have this parameter, but from another point of view, we should have opposite parameter. You know, even we as a consulting company used to meet such situation. For example, we discuss some project with whom? With decision maker, right? And usually decision makers, they don't care about nuts and bolts. They're visionary, right? And they tell us, guys, we need something breakthrough, right? And after that, they assign some low-level manager who will be responsible for this project. But for this manager, this long-term breakthrough means nothing. For them, it is necessary to provide something real that could be implemented right now. And what MPV should we satisfy? If we offer, breakthrough solution, this guy will be completely unhappy. And it will be able to demonstrate that everything we recommended is bullshit. If we satisfy this guy and offer some very practical, very conservative solutions, this decision maker will say, what I suggested me, I need something, what should we do?
Quite possible that he is going to say, we already know this solution, if it is so simple.
And actually, do you agree it is a contradiction, right? And of course, we know how to resolve this contradiction. We have to develop everything, from very conservative solutions to very radical solutions. And in this case, we will satisfy both, right? But it is very typical situation. We meet even more difficult situations when different trends lead you in opposite directions, and different MPVs lead you in opposite directions. But guys, remember, we are professionals in contradiction resolving. For us, contradiction is not a nightmare. Oh, we have a contradiction, okay, we have tool how to do it.
Yeah, I just understood your question a little bit differently. What I heard is, do you have a situation when voice of the customer contradicts with voice of the product, right? So I can give you a short example. Professional cameras for taking pictures. So nowadays we have so advanced electronics. We may build everything small and light. And this is the voice of the product. It says we can make it very compact, very lightweight, but voice of the customer says, if I'm buying expensive camera, it should be heavy. Otherwise, I feel that I bought something like cheap plastic. I'm not satisfied. I pay my $1,000 for big, heavy camera. For me, this is a typical contradiction. That's what you said.
And you know what the solution of this problem? They added a piece of metal inside this camera just to make it heavier. Actually, yeah, I agree. There are contradictions between voice of the product or voice of the customer. Another example. do you use so-called, soap that can kill bacteria? Bactericide soap. Do you use such type of soap? Right? Okay. What is a main function of the soap? To kill bacteria. Do you agree with me? But also, as a regular soap, its function is to remove dirt. But, our skin is covered with some oily substance called sebum, right? You can touch, right? Can you see that's kind of a little bit oily? And all bacteria sit on this sebum. And when you use a soap, what does it do? It doesn't remove dirt, actually. It removes sebum together with dirt and bacteria. Guys, do we need to kill bacteria? Tell me, yes or no? No, we don't need to kill them because we remove them anyway. But customer love it, right? Oh, we just kill all our bacteria. But voice of the product, guys, this function is useless. We don't need it. Moreover, it is harmful function because, when you try to kill bacteria, they just, use mutations and they become resistant, right? That is why it is not useless. It is harmful function, but people love it. That is why company produces this type of soap, despite of the fact that voice of the product just asks, guys, don't do it, please don't do it. Okay.
For MPVs, do we have to find out all the MPVs for all stakeholders?
Never.
No?
Remember, I told you that we do not identify MPVs, well, except of known. We identify candidates to MPVs, and we never can promise that we identified all of them. We at least identified something, right? You work more, you identify more. Not necessarily all of them will be real MPVs. Marketing people will test and will say, no, people will not pay for it. But we cannot promise that we identify everything.
Just really one sentence. And those MPVs for different stakeholders, they are different.
Oh, yeah.
So everything depends on the goal of your project. Which stakeholders you want to satisfy with the result of your project.